All right, this is my presentation on the effectiveness of registered apprenticeships, looking at doing this for a dissertation for American College of Education, specifically for assignment number 8 for Dr. Carrie Hutton. All right, so the rationale behind going this particular route in registered apprenticeships is motivated by a couple different factors. One, career-driven, partially due to the nature of the work that I am in currently and have been since 2012 as a director now in registered apprenticeships at Monroe Community College. I've also started a company with 2 other people focused on registered apprenticeships. It's always been fascinating for me to look at it. Also, the learning models that are associated with registered apprenticeships, the related instruction, the adult learning associated with it as well. I'd like to find evidence towards their effectiveness. Ultimately, that is the question that I'm presenting, is be a two-tailed study, whether they are effective or they ineffective. Also in regards to the middle skill gaps that we know are very evident across our region, but also nationally. There's bipartisan support, all the way starting back with Obama to Trump, and now furthering Biden to scaling initiatives that are taking place at the federal and even state level. So we're excited about that and the investment into this country in registered apprenticeship programs. I'm also a CTE graduate. I did get my master's degree in career and technical education, and I was a machining student too as well. So again, like I said, I was a graduate of Buffalo State College back in 2012, and I knew about apprenticeship programming back then. But also I was a graduate in high school in 2002 of Orleans Career Tech Center, and that was a good motivation, gave me some good technical background, and wanted me to get into skilled trades as a career. You'll see down below is the Finger Lakes Youth Apprenticeship Program. I'm the co-creator of that, and again, I'm really inspired by young men and women that want to go this particular career path. So this is near and dear to my heart. So it's pretty easy for me to talk about and do research in. And then that's our company, Apprentitrack. The literature review, there's quite a bit out there, and actually it's rather recent, which is exciting. We do know that there's a skill gaps out there across all the U.S. and manufacturing sectors, skilled trades, healthcare, IT. We have bipartisan support. That's evident. We're excited for that, even some of the bills that have been recently passed. Skill attainment in the workplace and productivity success is associated with some of these registered apprenticeship programs. So we'll further look at those as maybe effectiveness. Increased participation by 5 million apprentices. So there's a goal by the Trump administration to have 5 million apprentices, registered apprentices, by 2022. We'll see what happens there. Suggestion to link with secondary schools. Again, I was a graduate of a CTE secondary program, so there's always an interest of the connection there on how that could segue directly into registered apprenticeship programs or degree paths associated with them. We do know that there are problems with apprenticeships. Recruitment, retention is a noted problem. It's nice to see this too as well. A lot of the companies I work with provide anecdotal evidence, but here we have some empirical evidence of it too. We do know that, again, there's a lack of a skilled workforce. 54% of manufacturers noticed a shortage of skilled workers, and by 2020, it was noted in 17 that there'd be 63% that don't have that. So what's the added value to this research by looking at the effectiveness of a registered apprenticeship program? Well, I want to know if a registered apprenticeship program is effective in increasing or decreasing productivity in the local workplace sectors and the apprenticeship programs that they serve. So that's an added value that I would like to look at. Are registered apprenticeships a good workforce solution? Better data collection ideas. We do know that there's federal programs, there's state programs, there's internal programs, but ultimately, if you have a registered apprenticeship program, looking across the nation, they all don't necessarily talk to each other. So that's kind of interesting to really see how we can collect better data for registered apprenticeships. And ultimately, at the end of the day, for a company, and the question that I present is, are registered apprenticeships, are they worth the time and the money to invest for a company? And that's ultimately why I'm going down this particular path. We meet with a lot of companies that see the value in it, they do it, they commit, and then other companies don't necessarily do that in some of the work that I do. So this is the question that I'm presenting. All right, so some of the pitfalls ahead. Well, what is the proper way to measure a registered apprenticeship program? What tool are we going to actually use to say, hey, this apprenticeship program is working effectively because of X, Y, and Z? There are some examples out there. The Case Western study does some case studies on a lot of different companies that measure return on investment, and they use a different metrics to do that. Locally, I want to see what kind of tool I can adopt to measure the effectiveness of apprenticeship programs in our area. Again, I mentioned they're monitored differently at the state level and the federal level, so there's nothing really necessarily speaking a common language. So I think that's one of the problems I'm going to have ahead if I want to try and find some accurate data to represent a generalized population. Again, finding a return on investment, that might be problematic. Again, working with some of the companies, are they in the same industry sector? Are they the same trade outline? So those are some of the problems that I see ahead. How will I stay motivated? Well, back in 2018, January, I think 5th, is when I first started this program, and one of the things that they said that stuck with me is begin with the end in mind. So this is a big task that I'm undertaking. It's a goal of mine that I've always wanted to do, and I think ultimately they said in one of the assignments is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So here I am 3 years later. Also, I have other motivation to really kind of propel me through this study. First and foremost, my family. They've been here with me the whole time, and they've been pushing me and encouraging me to go on. And, I want to keep my family proud. That's my son, Nolan, my daughter, Delaney, and my wife, Megan. They're a real driving factor in it. Also, my mom. My mom's probably my biggest fan. Really, she's been, cheering me on the whole way through. All the way from high school, as far as my educational pursuit. And, that basically started when I had a counselor told me that, well, you know what, Dale, you're not college material, and you probably should go off into skilled trades. Well, he was definitely right about two things. Going off into skilled trades, I did that. He was wrong about the college material. So here I am with 2 master's degrees later, an educational specialist degree later. Once I get that done, I'll send it to his house and just kind of thank him for the motivation as well. Another driving factor for me to be motivated is our swim team. I've been coaching since 2007, and I've just been surrounded by some phenomenal young men and women and some great coaches and mentors, and I owe a lot of this particular program to them as they were motivating me to do better things for our students at our college. Just a lot of great stories, and so I have plenty of opportunities for motivation. Again, it's always been a goal of mine to finish this particular program. At one point I said, I just want to do it just to say that I did it. I set it as a goal, and in our college season with our swim team and our dive teams, we talk about writing a book. What's the chapter going to look like? How are you going to finish the story, right? Well, here I am kind of at the start of the dissertation process. I've done some literature review. I know I got a ways to go, but the pen's in my hand, and I got to finish the story. Much like climbing a mountain, we talk very metaphorically in our swimming and diving programs, and with that being said, we talk about climbing to the mountain as our season. We start at base camp at the bottom. We lose a lot of people on the team as we get to the top. When we get to the top, really we celebrate the journey that we have done that with. So again, going back to 2018, start with the finish line in mind. I'm going to do that, and when I'm at the finish line and I get to the end, I need to celebrate with the people that have kept me motivated the whole way through. Just because my name might be on the degree, the reality is my wife, my kids, my mom, my swimmers, the students, my friends, the people that have pushed me to get to the end really have associated success with that particular degree, and I want to celebrate that with them. With that being said, the references that I had for the literature review on registered apprenticeships are here, and I look to further expand upon that on youth apprenticeships and registered apprenticeship programs and their effectiveness.